happened to me last month. I'm a 20-year-old student trying to finish my studies so I can finally start working and think about starting a family. I'm a pretty chill guy who loves nature and peace. I like to go for simple walks in the woods whenever I feel overwhelmed by life. It's one of my favorite activities, and I recommend it to everyone. This story takes place a couple of weeks ago. I was feeling a bit overwhelmed by the workload I had put on myself and decided to go for a walk in the nearby woods to clear my mind a bit. Since we lived near the woods, it was a short, easy walk to get there. Since I live with my parents, we had a rule that I would let them know where I was going before leaving, just so they would know in case of an emergency. So, I told my mom that I was going to the nearby woods for a short walk and left the house. It was around 4 p.m. when I left, so it was still light outside. But keep in mind, this was during the winter season, so the days were short, and it got dark really quickly after around 5 p.m. I arrived at the woods a couple of minutes later and started taking deep breaths while walking, just enjoying nature and minding my own business. There weren't many people around at this time of day. I would see 1 or 2 people every couple of minutes. Some were walking their dogs, while others were just enjoying the woods like me. It started getting quieter and quieter the deeper I went. At this point, it slowly started getting dark. I walked a couple more steps, and that's when I saw a strange light in the distance. It flashed twice really quickly, but I couldn't tell what it was because of how far away it was. I decided to turn around and head back home because it was getting too dark for my comfort. Then, I heard 3 gunshots out of nowhere. I didn't know which direction they came from, but I assumed it was just some hunter. I kept walking towards my house, but a bit faster now because I was getting creeped out. I even started singing quietly to keep myself calm and distract myself from the eerie atmosphere around me. As soon as I almost got out, I stopped singing and looked to my right. I didn't wear glasses, but I saw something running fast towards me in the distance. It looked thin and ran like a human, but it didn't look human. The ground it was running on was icy and wet, so I couldn't understand how it was sprinting so fast without slipping. Whatever it was, it should have easily slipped on the icy ground. I got so scared I couldn't move a muscle. I froze in shock and stared at it. It didn't look like it was wearing any clothes, which made everything even weirder. As it got closer to me, I finally snapped out of it and ran as fast as I could. I must have screamed like a little girl at that point. I kept running without looking back. I got home, instantly locked the door behind me, and went into my room to look out of the window to see if it followed me home. It didn't, and I was relieved to see that no one was outside our house. It must have stopped following me when I ran while screaming. Even though that thing didn't do me any physical harm, it definitely did mentally. This memory has given me so many nightmares since it happened. I'm scarred mentally. Every time I think about it, I start wondering what it was, because it didn't look human at all. It was so thin, pale and tall, something I've never seen in my life. I never go alone in the woods now. I always bring a friend or a family member to keep me company.